Hello and welcome back to Mount Borealis Zoo and happy 2022 everybody. I hope you've had a great start to your new year. Here it is currently snowing some great big beautiful snowflakes out my window and totally getting me in the mood for this zoo. So I'm looking forward to it. You might notice it looks a little bit different than it did before. It's been a little while, so you might also not notice. But I did do a little bit of terraforming over in this area over here. So this kind of used to be one big lake. I did a little bit of terraforming here because this is where we're going to be building next. So I also did fix this a little bit. The beaver habitat. So this is now like ground underneath because they kept escaping and like swimming in this lake. Very annoying. I'm not dealing with underwater barriers anymore. They never fixed it. I don't understand why animals can phase through barriers underwater still. So I'm just leaving it. We're not doing any underwater barriers anymore. So today what we are going to be doing, so the next step, I'm really excited about the new Europe pack. So you might also, I don't know, from the last episode, we probably have a little bit more money and stuff too. I did let the game run for a bit to get a little bit more money to start this. It's not really a ton, but mostly to get the new items researched from the new Europe pack. So we have all that researched now from our workshop and everything, so that's all good. So the next thing that we're going to be doing is building a cute little, basically kind of expanding on the village. I want to play a little bit around more with like more colorful themes and all of that, but we're still going to stay very kind of French themed. I have some inspiration photos of a few like French villages and stuff, and some that actually have canals and that. So that's kind of why we're going to be building on the water here. This is going to kind of turn into a bit of a canal. And then over here, we're actually going to have a habitat, which we're going to put in right away. I don't know if the building for this area is going to maybe take a couple of episodes, but I do want to get that animal in because what we're going to do here is actually the gray seal, which probably doesn't sound very exciting because it's not a new animal, but it's a great water animal for this area. Like we have the big lake, and I think it'll theme really well here, and it's a very high appeal animal, which we need one of those in this zoo. It is a franchise zoo, not a sandbox, so we do need to kind of play around with that a little bit. Make sure we have our next animal is a high appeal animal so that we can get a lot more guests in here. And then the other thing that I do want to do probably next, I don't think we're going to get to it this episode. Back here, I want to make a penguin habitat. So that's basically what's going to round out this area here. We're going to kind of expand on this theme of it being kind of like a village or a town, expand it out this way, make some cute little canal walkways and bridges with the new pieces and stuff. I think that's going to be super cool. And then after this area, I might even do another entrance over here, I'm thinking, because I think I can place multiple entrances in franchise mode, can't we? Maybe I should try that real quick first before I say what I'm gonna do. Entrance, I could spell entrance, right? And maybe that would help. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Oh gosh, those are... Oh, okay, well, we're not gonna do the fancy boat entrance, but we can do another zoo entrance. Yeah, okay. So I just wanted to double check that because sometimes you can't do stuff in franchise mode, like fix this entrance, but it looks like we can make another one. And I think that's going to help a bunch with kind of the navigation of our park too. So maybe eventually we'll do like a cute boat entrance or something, or a bus entrance in this area once we make a bit more money. But that's kind of the general idea, is maybe we'll have another entrance from over here. Maybe we'll do like a train or something that goes all the way along the base of the mountain. And then eventually we are going up the mountain. We are going to do a gondola up the mountain. We're going to do a whole bunch of habitats up here and maybe even a castle. That's kind of what's in my mind right now. So if you're looking forward to that, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out the next episodes. We are getting very close to 1,000 subscribers. I think we should make it there by the end of this month or next month. So I'm super excited about that. Big milestone for very small creators. So if you're not subscribed, please do. It helps out a ton. Obviously, if you enjoy the videos. You don't need to subscribe if you hate this video, but it is what it is. So yeah, without further ado, there really isn't much for updates on the animals. They're just doing their thing. The beavers and the reindeer, the beavers are no longer escaping, which is nice. I had so many escapes while I was trying to get those workshop items done. But yeah, I think we can just kind of jump right in. I'm going to start building out, probably start with a bit of a blueprint for where the buildings are going to go, do the pathing, and then get the seal habitat in sooner than later so that we can make some money, because this whole area, I have a feeling, is going to be very expensive. So let's just jump right into it. All right, here we go. So when I say building, I mean building in this speed build. So essentially this speed build focuses on detailing and building 2 buildings. That's about all I managed to fit into the actual speed build this episode. So if you enjoy that kind of like more detailed building aspect of all of this, then you'll probably really enjoy this episode. If you don't like that kind of thing, then maybe just skip to the tour at the end, because that is what we are doing in this episode. So I've started off with this cute yellow building. Essentially I had like a Google Street View of like a similar building right on my screen, so I was just trying to make it as accurate as possible, as well as fixing up the beaver habitat barriers. I actually think having these buildings around helped out the beaver habitat barriers a lot. I think you'll see it in the real-time part, but yeah, so much better. So much better than just that brick weird background, and like them going through the water. Fixed all of that, much better now. But yeah, so the first thing that I noticed when I was kind of like really trying to study, I'm working on my realism. Essentially, it's kind of something that I wanted to do this year with with this channel, with Planet Zoo, and whatever other games we managed to get into this year when it comes to building. I'm trying to get a little bit more realistic with the building. I want to start to make things look a little bit more real, more, as you would see them, I guess. I don't know exactly how else you would say it, but anyway, that all to say, the one thing that I noticed was all the windows are inset. So I mean, obviously our windows, like my house windows, are not that inset. Like they have the borders that like these windows have, but besides that, they're generally not that inset. But the weird thing about the windows in this game is that they stick out so much. Like the edges stick out from the walls, which just isn't how it looks in the buildings that I was looking at for this theme, at least. They're all like set inside of the walls. So I did that. And let me tell you, in this game, it definitely doesn't make it easy to do. You have to do a lot with those plaster like pieces, and this probably wouldn't work for a lot of the different like themed walls. The plaster is easy because we have so many little plaster pieces to work with, but yeah, I don't know. I just thought it does add quite a bit to it, but it did end up being a lot more work than just putting in these nice grid pieces in order to make that work. But yeah, I'm just kind of exploring the Europe pack a little bit here. Figured out that, there is no good wood. So I actually started using the Arctic wood, which isn't the same one that I used in the previous section, because a really good tip that I got in the comments, so thank you, was that the climbable pieces probably slow down your computer more than the non-climbable pieces. And I think those wood beams that I was using before, they're tagged as climbable, whereas these ones, you can see there I checked the tags, they're not tagged as climbable, at least I think, unless I just totally missed something there. But yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe it'll just be less heavy on us if I don't use the climbable pieces. So, we're just working on that, because this is going to be a very high piece count zoo, and I do have a pretty good PC. Like, I'm not really worried about it crashing my game and like actually stopping working, but it is nice for when it's just good and cooperates and we have no issues at all. So that's what we're going for here. But yeah, you can see, basically making a wall just a lot more complicated when you want to inset your windows. It is what it is though. I guess at least we have these nice pieces. But yeah, this is basically at this point, you make one, you copy and paste it. Easy as pie. I really like this. I just kept doing this outcrop thing as well, because you see that on so many buildings, and although these pieces don't make it super easy to do that with, in terms of having to like fill in these corners and all of that stuff, I think it does just look a little bit better when it's got that lip over the edge, just to shelter your doorway and all of that. But let's just say this is actually going to be a facilities building. So I think in there right now is like a windmill and the water filtering system. I obviously need to change the wind power generator to a normal transformer, which I will do before. I mean, I don't think I do it on camera. Maybe I don't remember. But yeah, so this is just a little facilities building, and I figure I actually might put a staff room on the other side of this building as well for the staff that come in or that need to work in the buildings that are going to be more on this left side of the area, which we don't do this episode, so the staff room's not in there yet. But yeah, I'm kind of getting more and more into trying to like utilize the buildings that I'm using for things like our staff rooms, which I know like it seems like a really obvious thing, but I never really did it much before. Like I used to have to like put them off to the side, like in their full own little area, whereas as long as your building's big enough and like a little bit away from the pathways, you can just stick it in there. Like the negative effect radius does stick out a little bit, especially on things like transformers, but it's not too bad as long as you're not butting right up against it with a pathway. So yeah, definitely going to be working on that a lot in this zoo as well, just kind of hiding them in more smart ways. Don't build extra buildings. Just use the ones that you've got and make that work for you. Oh, this was so annoying. Do you see that one on the left there? How the roof sticks through the wall and the one on the right it doesn't? I don't know what it is with the like equal. If you have any tricks for that, maybe let me know. There might be tricks out there, but when you have two pieces that are on the exact same plane like that, I don't know why sometimes they stick through and sometimes they don't. Like I could have played with it if it had stuck through on both sides, maybe like made it look purposeful, but it doesn't even stick through on the other side. So I don't know, I just found that a little bit odd. And I don't know if there's a trick for that or if it's just, you know, the way the game works, it's just totally random. It's hard to say, but yeah, either way, mostly just playing around this with the same stuff here, so the same windows. I didn't touch on the shutters that I did use, I have been using so far in this video. I really like these shutters. I think I'm pretty sure they were part of the new pack. They're like labeled as Europe. Although they could have been around before and maybe I just missed them. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but either way, never noticed them before. I think they're from the new pack. Great addition. As well as those little hinges I played around with on the one side, but I'm not a super detail oriented builder in this game. I like to just get her done, get playing. So I'm not putting hinges on every single window. If they really wanted me to put hinges on every window, they could have included them with the windows. So, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, sticking with the same grid here. So essentially I just kind of, we needed a grid in this area and I figured why not just keep with the grid from the old path, just to make it totally straightforward. I know it's not. That is one part that I don't know if I'm gonna bother fixing it, because building paths on the grid makes it so much easier to build everything else around them that I'm probably just gonna leave it as is. But these kind of areas traditionally do have more of a windy roads and stuff, so I don't know, maybe not the most realistic, but you know, yeah, we gotta make compromises when it comes to building in this game for sure. But I will also say our money did not go very far in this building. It got done what we're doing today. I mean, I had to definitely run it a bit longer. But yeah, even before all the facility buildings and everything, ran out of money. So I guess that's what you get from trying to build these significantly more complicated and significantly more detailed builds. But yeah, oh, these new bridge pieces too. So yeah, touching on the bridges here as well, super fun. I think I do kind of wish that they were wider, but I know there's like those pieces, like those black pieces that you can use and I guess detail yourself. I didn't want to bother with that. We're gonna have another big bridge over on the other side for next episode, so maybe I'll build like a bit more custom like sort of situation on that bridge, play around with the pieces a bit more and make sure that you know, we can do something something maybe a little bit more custom and a bit wider without having the weird railing in between on the other one. But I think for now this works. I mean, whatever, there's a railing in between the two pathways. I don't think that's that big of a deal. So yeah, and then the last little bit here is going to be this row house of building. Well, actually, this isn't the last little bit because we do the habitat as well, but the last building bit is this row of houses, I suppose, or like apartments. I think they're kind of meant to be like apartments with like shops underneath sort of thing, but obviously this is a zoo. People don't live in a zoo. But you know, realism, we just go with whatever we can. So I spent a little bit of time trying to figure out the actual shape because I knew I would be copying and pasting this one everywhere. So I wanted to get it perfect, but I ended up changing it in the end anyway. I don't really like the off-centered look, especially when we start to try to put in beams and stuff and like center all of the windows and the beams and whatnot to like the building in general. Like, yeah, it just doesn't really work out. So I do play around quite a bit with the shape of this building, but eventually we figure it out, and it is just it is a little bit more of the same. So sorry if this is getting boring, I promise. Next episode, actually, when we finish off this area, I found some inspiration for some kind of like same era buildings and like even same area buildings, because I got them from the same like town that I got the inspiration for these buildings from, but they're very different style. Like they're much more like brick and stone style, which I think the Europe pack is actually a bit more aimed towards, like a bit more classic. It has some of those cute like motifs on the walls, like the sticky outy ones, the like facades and pillars and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited to play around with those pieces a little bit more. And I don't think, I mean, it doesn't look exactly like these, and it's certainly not as colorful, but like you can kind of imagine this is like, you know, the row that's, you know, very waterfront, very like meant to be touristy. And then, you know, we'll go into some more older buildings in the other two. There's gonna be 2 more walkways. I'll kind of show you where those are in the real-time part, but yeah, there's gonna be a couple more walkways, so a couple more buildings on either side of that other canal that's going through the middle there, so you can't see the habitat from those other places, and then, you know, that'll lead into the next habitat as well, which is going to be our penguin habitat. So look forward to that next episode. Make sure that you subscribe if you don't want to miss it and you want to see what we do with the rest of this area. I'm going to be pushing that for a little while. I know it probably sounds really annoying, I don't know, but I really want to hit that 1,000 mark. We're going to be there so soon. But yeah, anyway. I'm just kind of blabbering on now because I don't really know what else to talk about with this building. So again, the sunken in windows. So I don't know if you have a better strategy for something like this. Please let me know. I mean, I'm sure I'll figure out something to make this a little bit quicker in the future. Like maybe I'll just make a plaster. I mean, I don't know if I'll need it anymore, specifically in plaster, but I think I would probably make a plaster wall piece with the window. I don't know, but that's the thing, because I did windows in different positions on every part, so it didn't really work out. Maybe I would do something like make a 4x4 thing with plaster pieces that you could like pick and choose which ones you wanted to take out for like where you wanted to put the window, and then I could just, you know, make that almost like a blueprint and copy and paste it around. I might do something like that just to be able to keep up with, you know, putting in these inset windows, because I think it looks so much better when they're inset a little bit. But, you know, you'll even notice I get lazy. Well, actually, you might not notice because I did it off camera, but I do get lazy at the very end once I'm kind of detailing the very last buildings off camera and just stick the windows on the outside. So much effort. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's so much work, but yeah, either way, you know, it kind of works out. And I was started playing around with the roofs a little bit, but all the images, or all these buildings, like the ones that I was taking the inspiration from, very high peaked ceiling, like roofs, which are great. They're beautiful. But I also I didn't want it to all look the same, so you'll kind of see what that looks like when we hit the real-time part as well. I tried to mix up the roofs a little bit to make it so that they weren't all, you know, flush with each other and all of that. And this, again, I know I talked about the front face, fixing the front face so that it would be symmetrical, and then none of it ends up being symmetrical anyway, so we've got this weird outcrop part. But I figured, you know, as long as I just leave it there and it's like that on every side, then, you know, that makes it symmetrical, right? But yeah, you can see there, don't really get a good look at it here until the end, but you can see in the background there. Basically just copy and pasted all the buildings and then redetailed each one. It took a little while, but I'm really happy with how it turned out, so yeah, that's about it. I'm happy with it. So here we are building our seal habitat. I kind of wanted to try to stay away from barriers as much as possible, but I do want them to have a bit of land area, and really the only way that would make sense is to have the barriers in the background. So for their area where they actually have land access, there's the concrete barrier in the background, and then for the rest of it, the edges are just too sharp for them, and I'll put like the concrete along most of the edges as well, so it'll kind of make sense, like they're just sort of, you know, enclosed in there, right? And yeah, decided to put the staff buildings kind of in this little area at the end here. A staff room for the, you know, that the vendors there can access as well, which is great. And there are our seals, 2 of them anyway. One of them, I did put 3 seals in. One of them took a little bit longer than the others to get there. But yeah, obviously, since the water is a little bit lower than the edge, because I did want to give that look of like, you know, the city being built on top of the water. So I wanted to lower the water a little bit, but the seals were having a hard time getting in, so there was a bit of terraforming there. And then, yeah, the last of this is just the little bit of detailing of the habitat. I think the habitat itself looks fairly plain, but that's because it's mostly water. It's a seal habitat. Nothing really too exciting to note here. I played around with the foliage a little bit, but I mean, again, there's not a ton going on. I really like those platforms though, those platform bed floating things. I think they look so cute when they're playing around on that. So good. And then I tried to do some terraforming. It's hard to do the terraforming because when it snows and there's snow on the ground, all it says is that they don't like the snow. So, you know, it is what it is, but let's take a look at it. Alright, so just as the sun is rising over the mountains there, let's take a look at what we built. So you can kind of see how it looks in the background from the park here. I think it looks kind of cool. Obviously, I mean, not super detailed, but I think it's good enough for now. Let's get a closer look though so we can see what we did. So over here is still just the yellow building. I do think we put another building in here, but I'm gonna wait until next episode to do that because we'll be building basically the whole row here. So I kind of want to make sure that it fits in there a little bit better, but it's kind of what it looks like with all the details. It actually looks really kind of nice without the snow all over the pathways. I don't know why the snow is not on the pathways, but I guess it just hasn't snowed. It's just barely cold enough, so that's good. But yeah, here's a little kind of basically sort of like an alley or walkway situation. It would be like, you can kind of imagine it as like a sidewalk. I will fill this more in with like some clutter stuff. I'm just not sure what just yet. But as we go this way, we can go over the bridge, which is very lovely. Not up on the railing, of course. And then down here is our first little like courtyard area. So I added in the lampposts and the benches and stuff for some details. I haven't really added details to the walls and all of that. I do think I want to play around with the neon signs a little bit more, because I think they'll look good here as kind of like, you know, looking a bit more like a city, and maybe some more signs and stuff. And there's clearly a gap there that I'm gonna need to fix. Whoops. But yeah, it looks like there's already tons of people over here, which is nice. This here is gonna be, you can see there is a pathway going this way. This is gonna be another corridor. There's gonna be another set of buildings along here, so it does kind of block that view a bit once you're down here. But we will work on that one next time as well. I'm also not really sure how I feel about the bridge colors. I might change the colors up on the bridge as well, but either way, for now, I think it fits quite well, and I think the buildings look really nice. I think it's I think it fits really well with the theme we're going for. And I also added in this canopy off camera just to kind of give a bit of shelter for the display boards here. I know they kind of, I think they break easier when they're exposed to the rain and stuff. I don't know. But yeah, that is kind of what that looks like. And the seal habitat, you can see there's no snow in here just yet, although I'm sure it will snow. Oh, and there's one. He's swimming. How cute. I love the seals. They're such a good animal. I know we've played with them before, but still, I cannot get enough of them. I also really love this new cobblestone path. Look at this. How nice is that? I think it fits so well. I know we had something kind of similar before, but this I just think looks significantly better. It just fits so much more perfectly. Ooh, look at that view. Oh, it's gonna look so good when we have some more buildings up on the other side there to see the mountains in the background. Lovely, I love that. Oh, I'm so excited for this zoo. All right, and oh yeah, and look at that. People are actually using our our benches a little bit here too. That's awesome. So, oh, I should put a window there actually. There's a staff building right there. But anyway, that is what we did. I mean, it doesn't seem like a lot, but all these buildings, all those little details, like even building these off camera, because I built the first one obviously, and then did the detailing on the rest later on. I just copy and pasted and changed some of the details. Took forever. But look at these cute little windows. I think it's a good homage to the inspiration photos and stuff that I was using, so I think it worked out quite well. Now let's take a look. I think we still just have the 3 seals. We haven't been, ooh, what's an alert? What's the matter? Oh, what is everybody so upset about? Let's see, social, oh, stress. Okay, I might have to put up some keep quiet signs for these poor guys so they don't get so stressed out. But look at him on his little flop flop, on his little jetty here, or getty, I don't know exactly what they're called, but how cute, look at them. I don't know, I love the seals. I think they're such fun animals, little like water puppies. Very cute. I'm thinking I might start to throw in some education too. I think these new seals are hopefully going to bring us in a lot more people. We've already made a lot of money, even just from like in the time where I was kind of detailing a little bit and stuff off camera. So I do think this is definitely getting a lot more people in our zoo. We've hit the 750. I actually think that is yeah, there we go. There's a reward there for that. So these high appeal animal, 10 out of 10 if you need to increase that cash flow. Would recommend getting something like that in. And I know the penguins aren't quite such a, what is that duck doing? Why is it moving around so much? That's weird. I know the penguins aren't such a high appeal animal, but they breed, like you get a lot of them. So I am excited for that as well. They're going to take up basically this whole space. I'm going to give them a huge habitat so that we can have lots of penguins, and that's going to be super fun. And yeah, essentially, I think what else we're gonna do, like, I don't think a bridge like this, or maybe I'll build a custom bridge like this, because I want it to be wider, but essentially it'll be like, it'll go across this whole area, and then that'll be the viewpoint, and that's where the habitat will start, is right there. There's water here, though. I'll build a land bridge. Maybe I'll build a land bridge here, because yeah, they will swim through this concrete and stuff and escape. So I'll have to build a land bridge. I'm not dealing with the underwater escapees anymore. So I'll do that next episode and build the bridge, and hopefully we can make something that looks cool, even though it's gonna be kind of solid on the bottom. I don't know, we'll have to see what we can do, but yeah. That will be the next episode. I'm really excited. I don't know exactly what I'm going to play around with the themes yet. I think I've already talked about that, but either way, I'm really loving a lot of these new pieces. I know it's not like, this isn't the style that, you know, came with the Europe pack. It's more like Amsterdam style and all of that, but I do still really like these pieces that we've got a chance to use, and the railings even look really good. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I do want to, yeah, we'll see what we can do with the theme for the other part. I don't know yet, but are you trying to look at the seals from all the way over there? See, this is a problem. She's gonna probably, ew, she stole something? Oh wow, okay, well apparently we need to get on the on the security guard thing too. Oh my goodness, okay. But anyway, that is about all I have for today's episode, so I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think about this area coming together so far, even the theme as well that we're kind of going for, or if you have any ideas for totally different themes to start to get into as we get further and further from, you know, this village, or what is now kind of turning into a city. As well, I do want to start like working on totally other themes. I really like how we did that in the last zoo, where it was just kind of a cohesive in the sense that like it's all going to be cold themed, but I want to play around with different themes. I can't do a full zoo all this style. It would be way too boring for me, and I don't know if that's even exciting for you guys. So yeah, let me know if you have any other cool ideas for the rest of this zoo in the comments. Of course, as always, I love reading your comments, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you in the next one.